Hey YouTubers! Welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's Wednesday, so happy Wednesday everybody. And thank you again for watching, subscribing, being a part of this thing called the Culture Confederacy. As you know, it's a lot of fun doing this channel. So I'm going to do a follow-up to a video I posted yesterday talking about this case that's going before the Supreme Court. Well, it happened today. They had these oral arguments. And did you see Jeffrey Toobin? Now, Jeffrey Toobin comes out. Remember Jeffrey Toobin? He's the guy who was caught spanking it during the Zoom call. So he tries to preach to the Supreme Court justices today, or was it last night? And he was on Don Lemon's podcast, Don Lemon. So he was trying to preach to these justices, Supreme Court justices, about integrity, about ethics. You who pulled it out and was spanking the monkey. In fact, I hear, rumor has it that Don Lemon and Jeffrey Toobin are going to get together, have a group called the Spanking Monkeys. Is that going to be seen as racist here on YouTube? But this thing today, it was so much fun to watch. It was so much fun to watch. Because you had one of these government schmucks get up there. She's what, attorney, solicitor, general, who knows what she is. It's some fancy title they gave these people. So she gets up there and she's trying to defend the government. And she was trying to split hairs saying, well, this other part doesn't apply. All we have to do is apply this part of the law because it applies to all of these situations. And you had Justice Alito and you had Thomas who were drilling her on where this would really apply. So Alito asked, so let's say that 5 people, now this whole case surrounds, this was brought about by January 6th defendant Joseph Fisher. Now Joseph Fisher, I believe, was a policeman. I forget where he was from. And he's of about 350 some odd January 6th defendants that are actually arguing the same thing here. But he actually had the balls to bring this before the Supreme Court. He actually say, wait a minute, this isn't right. You're overcharging me here. So his whole argument is that he did not, because they're trying to charge him with obstructing an official proceeding. Same thing that Jack Smith's trying to do with Trump. Can I talk to you? So Jack Smith is trying to charge Trump with obstructing an official proceeding. And this is the same charge that they were trying to bring against Mr. Fisher. So Mr. Fisher said, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I was in the Capitol for like 4 minutes. And yes, I may have been guilty of X, Y, or Z, but I sure as hell did not obstruct an official proceeding. So the law in question here, pardon me, the law in question is 18 U.S. Code 15C, Section C, or 1512, Section C, whatever it is. Now, there's a really good site for this, Cornell Law School's website. Really good reference whenever these cases come up. Now, this originally had to deal with the Enron scandal. Arthur Anderson, they were destroying documents, I believe, in that case. Maybe somebody was paid off to go somewhere or got killed. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But this is what it says. 18 U.S. Code 1512, tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. So I'm just going to skim through this and we'll get to the main part of this, what the government's arguing here, saying that they can apply to Mr. Fisher. But it's great. It's refreshing to see somebody have some balls and stand up to the government and say, wait a minute. No, you can't. I'm an American citizen. You work for me. If you're going to charge me with something, you better do it right. You better do it right. And you better prove it, damn it. You better prove that I did it. So it goes on to say here, whoever kills or attempts to kill another person with intent to prevent the attendance or testimony of any person in an official proceeding, prevent the production of a record, document, or other object in an official proceeding, or prevent the communication by any person to a law enforcement officer or judge of the United States of information relating to the commission or possible commission of a federal offense or a violation of conditions of probation, etc., etc. Also talks about whoever uses physical force or the threat of physical force against any person or attempts to do so with intent. The word that keeps popping up here is intent, and I've said this before time and time again here on the channel. You have to prove intent regarding January 6th. Did Trump intend to overthrow the government? Did he intend to overturn the election in 2020? You have to prove intent. What did you know? When did you know it? Who was involved? Did you succeed in the attempt? Which means that would have established that you had engaged in a crime because you actually succeeded in your attempt to carry out whatever the act was, whatever the criminal act was. Cause or induce any person to withhold testimony or withhold a record, document, or other object from any official proceeding, alter, destroy, mutilate, or conceal an object with intent to impair the integrity or availability of the object for the use in official proceeding, etc., etc. Some of this is repetitive. So let's get to the main part of this. But it was so much fun to watch this case today, to watch these oral arguments in this case. Especially when Alito stood up and he said, he asked, well, didn't say that, but he asked her, okay, so if 5 people stand up in the court today and they say, free these January 6th defendants, or you have 5 people stand up and they say, keep these January 6th defendants in jail for eternity, for a lifetime. Would that be obstructing an official proceeding? Even though the police removed them, would that be obstructing an official proceeding? I don't know. And so she tries to refer back to her notes. And then he talked about, all these protests going on right now, these pro-Palestinian protests. They were blocking the San Francisco Bridge yesterday. So what qualifies for an official proceeding? So getting to part C here. Let me just scroll down on the page here. Whoever corruptly, they use this word corruptly today, alters, destroys, mutilates, or conceals a record, document, or other object, or attempts to do so with the intent to impair the object's integrity or availability for use in official proceeding, or otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding or attempts to do so, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Whoever intentionally harasses another person and thereby hinders, delays, prevents, or dissuades any person from attending or testifying in an official proceeding, reporting to a law enforcement officer or judge of the United States in the commission or possible commission of a federal offense, etc., etc. So did Mr. Fisher, did he carry out the act of obstructing an official proceeding? Did he harass people to the point where they were not able to carry out the Electoral College vote back in January 2021? Trying to remember my dates here. Well, no, because guess what? Even though it had been delayed, we still had an Electoral College vote. And guess what? Joe Biden is president, isn't he? So I thought I'd share this with you today. Talk about this case that went before the Supreme Court, which apparently Fox News did not want to cover today. So I got to give props to, and you know what I think of CNN and possibly the AP. So I've got to give props to CNN and the AP because they were actually doing a live feed of this. But it seems that Fox News was really mum about this today. They didn't want to talk about it. I wonder why. Now, there was an article about it on their website, to be fair. But they were more focused on the Trump trial. Now, I'm not saying that the Trump trial isn't important here, this hush money case. But even that's starting to fall apart. Did you see 50 witnesses, or 50 of these potential jurors? 50 of these potential jurors don't want anything to do with this. They were let go because they've got so much bias against Trump. This thing has fallen apart right out of the gate. And they were arguing over the Hollywood tape. What the hell does a Hollywood tape, whatever it was, where Trump said that he could grab the you-know-what of whatever woman he wanted? So what does that have to do with hush money? And how many people in Congress, how many of you people in Congress have dished out hush money for your little extramarital affair there, buddy? He who cast the first stone, glass houses. So thank you for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, another one-take tip. I love doing these one-take videos. I never know what I'm going to say. I have fun with it. We need to get back to the old days of YouTube, the early days of YouTube, where you just posted something on YouTube and people just flock to it. So hopefully that's what you're doing here. But if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can also follow me on Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Let me also know in the comment section below what you think of all this. Or you can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time, and you all have a great Wednesday.